Well, hi there, racing fans, and lots of interesting racing this weekend, and we're going to be chatting to Michel Narak, the COO, I think he is.
CEO.
Is he a CEO?
He's been a CEO all the time, yeah.
CEO. And what's the difference between a CEO and a COO?
Operating officer, executive officer.
Okay. And what's the difference between the two of them?
One runs the show, one operates the show.
Okay.
Very good.
Very good. Now, who makes the most cash?
CEO.
Oh, CEO. So
You got the right one.
A couple of people we're going to be talking to. Michel Narak will be here on the show. We'll find out all about what happens in Mauritius racing, because there's some questions we need to ask him about why jockeys go to Mauritius when they're making so much money here. And then on top of that, we're going to have to talk about the sport, because,
Woe betide, James. This cricket team, the Artichokes, getting a great name. They've fallen apart. I can see they've got new youngsters, and I feel sorry for them. But some of the established boys aren't coming through. And I know we've got problems. We've got Faf having his wife having a child. AB takes time off whenever he wants. The Stain's only coming back to his best now. So you've got those three guys at the side. And the difference was their captain. The difference between the two teams was their captain. And you take his 190 off, the rest of the guys struggled.
Well, they dropped him early.
Yes.
And they dropped a few catches that were absolutely critical. Bairstow they dropped on the third day. He should have been out, and he ended up making runs. And then there was some strange
play. I don't like putting the boot in them. I support them, and I hope they do well. And it's hard. They're trying to blood youngsters, but they should have a look at players who play in the 4-day here who've got high averages.
Well, I think Miller's the glaring omission.
He hasn't played one test, and he's got a great 4-day average.
Great 4-day average, and he would be perfect at 6. I think he's got patience. I think he's got the skills, and I think he'd be very, very good at it.
That's right. I agree with you.
But anyway, I'll tell you what would be the answer. There's only one answer to this whole thing. Just let the women play. Because if you've seen how we played against the Indians, we gave them a proper hiding. Now, they were unbeaten in the series. That Dane van Niekerk and her girls, they don't choke. They're different class. I tell you, let the chicks have a go.
And Jim, just to touch on the rugby. Great to end up a draw. It was fantastic. The sport was the winner.
I just would like to replay what happened last week. I said it will be a very close game, and I think that my opposition said no, the All Blacks will smash him.
You were right. You were 100% right. I must applaud and say
you.
Well done. You should be lauded for making that game. And
I said the best bet of the year was 11.5 spread.
So have you bought your Lamborghini?
Yes, I have. It's fantastic. Did you get a lift in it now? That's my Lamborghini.
But Jim,
you got a lift in my car.
Well, let's hope
the force his way in.
Let's hope we do better in the second
test.
But
there are a number of other things we've got to talk about. The European Tour, the Irish Open was won by a guy called John Rahm. And have you seen him play golf? He's a Spaniard, big 6'6", built like a brick, whatever. And he hits the ball well. He's going to be a player in the Open.
Yeah, when's the next major?
2 weeks. We've got the Scottish Open this weekend, and then the British Open after that.
And Wimbledon, quickly while we're on
Wimbledon, all the top seeds are there. All the big boys are there.
They play today. Two big ones, Federer and Murray, not against each other, but they both play today.
Yeah, I back Federer. I've got to be with my mate. And the women's big seeds are still there as well, so that's looking good. The weather's fantastic in Wimbledon. There was a couple of other little sporting incidents that we should be talking about. The Grand Prix, did you watch the Grand Prix yesterday?
I didn't watch it.
Close race. Bottas won his second Grand Prix.
Yeah.
Ferrari's still there, hanging in.
Looks interesting. But what about the horses, the major sport, the best sport in the world?
Yeah, best sport in the world. Well, we've got some major sporting interest in the horses. We've got the Mercury Sprint coming this weekend.
That's right.
And then the Festival of Racing for the Gold Cup over the weekend.
That's fantastic. We will be speaking to Mike McColb again.
We will be.
I'm meeting with him today.
Okay, and the other thing is the Racing Masters straight after the Gold Cup.
Yeah, that's important. Because of the 2-day festival, they pushed it out. So people can get some work done on the Monday, get down for the Tuesday and Wednesday, and be back for racing on Thursday. You've got to get out to the Masters. It's the green jacket. It's a fantastic tournament. All facets of racing get out there.
There are a few spots, which is surprising. Yes. Normally it's absolutely booked up.
Yeah, it's normally, you're right. There are a few spots, and get involved.
Georgia.
Yeah, and get involved. Get down there.
Okay, we're going to go and move on and have a look at 3 to follow. Right, well, we stood by, thank goodness, for the first one we're going to show you, and we go to Scottsville, last race at Scottsville. Gab Funzel stepped out quite a nice Dynasty filly, and there was a lot of money for this filly. She was a bit green and a bit stiff, and she actually ran a cracking good race. African Dynasty was her name. She bred by Michael de Brolio. Let's go and have a look at her at the start.
Yeah, African Dynasty runs a good race. As James says, there was money for this horse. It looked a race that one of a few horses could win it, and unfortunately that should have been off an hour ago.
Yeah.
And they get rolling. Your eventual winner is a horse called Tweed Valley, which is, funny enough, 5 off the right at the moment. As we see, it ends up putting around down the outside. Our horse Kitiwe is showing good speed. And James, this Dynasty is just a bit green.
It's got the black and yellow colours. It's now 3 off the left-hand side of the screen with the sort of white noseband. So it's right in behind the filly that's in front now. And I think that might have been Shane Humby's filly in front.
No, it's Kareem Bestel's filly in front. Because my horse is my all orange silks. That's Kitiwe coming at the front. And the winner's right on the outside in the green for Komnadu. That is Tweed Valley. And this horse that ran third, African Dynasty, is a horse you're going to have to follow. It's weaving its way through down. It goes past Kitiwe on the inside and starts picking them off.
Yeah, little interference, never did anything go completely right for this filly. And 1,000 meters for a Dynasty to run third over. And she hasn't got a sprinting pedigree, but she obviously showed something. She's well worth having a good look at. Let's go and look at the next one. We go to Turfentine, 8th of July, and Mike de Kock stepped out a very, very nice horse by Star Witness, Australian bred. And Star Witness is a hell of a stallion of speed horses, great stallion. So let's go and have a look at this one, Mujafi.
Yeah, this horse here comes out a little sideways, not knowing much about it, but it goes and pushes the other two horses and finds itself being chased to get off the pace. Royal Standard, Sweet Trial, these are horses who show a lot of speed, especially Royal Standard. Royal Standard is going very quickly, but Anthony Delpeche gets this horse of Mike de Kock's Mujafi back into the race. Yeah,
he's sitting up third at the moment. There's a lot of pace on, and as you'd expect in the dead of winter in Johannesburg, the courses are running fast, but this horse did a pretty good time, 68 and a touch. And he won in an absolute calm canter. Could have been 66, I would have thought, the way he won, because he just cruises up to them here on the left-hand side of your screen in the blue and white Sheikh Hamdan colours. And it's no race from here.
Absolutely. This is a very smart individual. And then he just realizes, I've got them all cold. He gives a glance in a moment just to make sure everything's under control. And this horse is pulling further and further away from what could be said is not a great field, James, but the manner of the way this horse won after coming out sideways, very impressive.
Well, he's got a fast-net rock mare, but he does look like a proper galloper, this horse, and he could be very, very good. We're going to move on from him and go and have a look at Scottsville, and this was yesterday's race meeting, Sunday, and Jeffrey Friedman, small yard, he stepped out this one. This looks like it can run. It's got a nice pedigree and certainly looked like there was a bit of betting support. It's named Just One More. Got into all sorts of trouble, ended up at the back of the field and ran on really well. Let's go pick it up.
Yeah, this is a sparkling debut by Just One More, by Brave Tin Soldier. And again, there was plenty of money for horses. Your eventual runner-up is right on the outside. It's a horse called Dame Commander. Anthony Delpeche gets to the front and tries to nurse it through and runs a very good race to run second. The winner is Mind Your Business, who has got the noseband leading the group up the middle. That's with Gav Lorena for Duncan Howells, heavily supported. So the front two were the fancied runners. And the horse we found, Just One More, is way back.
Yeah, way back in the picture. It's got a sheepskin nose and looks like it's got yellow, white and blue colours. It's just behind the horse with the white and blue colours now, starting to come through. And but the horses are gone at this stage. The front two, no chance of him getting there, but really runs on well towards the death. You see it's got a split. It's about 5 off the right-hand side of your course, comes out a bit, whip in the left hand, and then goes behind the winner. He's right behind the winner now and runs on really well. She does this Brave Tin Soldier filly. She's out of Fort Wood mare, and Fort Wood is making a real name for himself as a broodmare sire. Yeah. Here she runs on really well. Rupert Plursch read it. runs third, just got touched off for second, but that was a pretty good run. And there was a false start in the race, so they'd already gone some distance, some of them, and the Dame Commander, which we picked up first time out, we backed it here, and just a false start beat it. I think, it was well away first time out, ran for about 800 meters or 600 meters before they got a hold of it and took it back, and it only got beaten in the dying strides.
Yeah, you never know how horses are affected by false starts and that. So it ran a good race, ran across the track, but keep an eye on that first timer. Smart debut.
Okay, we're just going to have a look at the This Shouldn't Happen sting.
Terrace Bar hanging all across the track. She's going sideways, and Star Potential's coming up the inside rail. But Terrace Bar somehow, Terrace Bar and Star Potential.
We're going to move on, and Plum of the Week is next.
Just to get a bit closer, Laravier's on the inside. Rainbow in the Sky at the 400-meter marker. She's a leader now, looks to move in. Clifton Sunset comes to the outside. Alicia's Prize trying to close in. Rainbow in the Sky, she's a leader. Clifton Sunset. Laravier's on the inside. Alicia's Prize. Rainbow in the Sky down the inside. Clifton Sunset, and she's a leader between them. Clifton Sunset, Rainbow in the Sky. Laravier's on the inside. Clifton Sunset comes home, powerfully going to get up. Clifton Sunset, Rainbow in the Sky, she's a leader, and Laravier.
Interesting about this winner, and it's run second. I think its last 4 starts it ran second, and just didn't seem to get the job done. And they fitted it with equipment that we're starting to see more and more of in this country, earmuffs. And they seem to make the difference. You could have got even money or 11 to 10 on Interbet at any time. There was huge volumes traded, over 200,000 on Interbet. So it certainly was worth having a bet on this. This horse looked like a blinder, and Anton Marcus to the 4 on it. And the earmuffs made the difference. So maybe a good addition to take a close look at when you're doing your punting.
Have you got earmuffs?
Yeah.
The battered husbands, you get them. You get those earmuffs for battered husbands and that kind of thing.
Yeah, that's
battered partner. You got?
Yeah, I had them all my life. Earmuffs. Anyway, I got more than earmuffs. Let me tell you, we're going to take a break. We'll be back with some more after this race.
Good.
My name is Mark van Devent. I'm a fanatic horse player, absolutely passionate about racing because of the excitement of the puzzle and all the effort that goes into solving it. But it's a great spectacle too. The horses going into the pens before the start of the race, the build-up of tension, and then finding out which horse has it in them to come down in the final stages with just 100 meters left when they're gunning for the line, neck and neck. You never know really what's going to happen in the sport. That's part of the fascination of horse racing. But with Interbet, I know not only do I still get the best odds on their site, and it's also the most informative and user-friendly place for me to bet online. Interbet were the pioneers of online and Mobi betting in South Africa, and they will continue to innovate and lead the way. Interbet, where the professionals bet.
Hi and welcome to Current Affairs. We've got one race to show you, a very interesting race, the Eclipse, which is run at Sandown. It's a Group 1 race to find out the best horses around. And it's a very interesting race. Let's see what James has got to say. James, did you get to watch the Eclipse?
No, I didn't, but I'm going to watch it now. And that's
Yeah.
why we have this show, so
Yeah.
people can watch it who didn't watch it.
Yeah.
But I did listen to it on the podcast, and it sounded like a very, very tight and exciting race. And I hear there was a lot of interference, and a couple of jockeys got penalties. Padre Barry, what's his name, my boy that rode the Derby winner, he got a 8-day suspension or 6-day suspension. And then someone else got a suspension.
It was a great race,
too.
of course. You know, a lot of interest in the race was obviously Cliffs of Moher had been caught, James, on the line in the Derby in England. Marcus Jooster's got a share in that, and that was beaten on the line. So I was watching for that. There was
Cliffs
Ryan
of Moher. But the point is, he got badly interfered with. I think you'll see that he got badly interfered.
But he gets stumped. I don't think he could have won. I watched it a few times, but he runs into trouble because our friend, what's his name?
Patrick Berry.
No, James Doyle. James Doyle rides Barney Roy. Now, Barney Roy
He
is
got
the
a suspension as well.
He rides Barney Roy, and he keeps him tight because Barney Roy is that acceleration field, the best who won the St. James's Palace. Just wanted to find out if he was the best horse around. He beat the other horses convincingly, but Sir Michael Stout comes along with a horse bred by Galileo again. Incredible, James.
Yeah.
Galileo's having just an incredible run. Everything... he
We've
sends
got
out
4
wins.
Galileo stallions in this country.
4?
Yeah.
I thought we had 2.
We've got 4.
I know the one, the Koers de Klerk's got the Asaya, the grey one. The other one is the one that Michael de Kock trained. Wasn't it? I don't know the other 2.
Yeah.
Who are they?
What about the United States, which is...
Has that got into the country?
well, he's about to arrive.
Yeah, that's fair enough. That's going to Mouton's hook.
Okay, let's go. Let's move on.
I think
because
he's stumped.
I can see that you're under pressure.
I think he's stumped.
I think you're under pressure.
Let's go and have a look at
I
this
said
race.
4, you said 2. I think you're under pressure.
Okay.
Okay, let's move on and have a look at Ulysses. We're going to see this from the 600-meter mark, and from the 1,200-meter mark, we're going to pick it up as our producer tells us. Let's go and see what happened.
And Eminent towards the inside is in third. Decorated Knight is in fourth. Cliffs of Nower now back on an even keel. He's on fifth on the inside of Barney Roy. And then towards the inside, Lightning Spear, the nose-banded head of Ulysses, ridden chilly towards the rear of the field together with Desert Encounter. They make the turn inside the final half mile of the 2017 Coral Eclipse. And it's Podrick Beggy and Taj Mahal who still have the lead. In second is Saluan. And now into third is Decorated Knight, who just took a side broad, a bump there from Eminent. Cliffs of Moher is being driven along, kept in a pocket by Barney Roy. Ulysses has yet to be unleashed as a race now inside the final quarter mile of the Eclipse. Saluan with Decorated Knight towards the outside. Eminent is there and Taj Mahal on the inside. Barney Roy with only a length and a half to find. Ulysses could be cantering all over them on the outside in the hands of Jim Crowley, and now he says go on Ulysses towards the outside, and he's now quickened up to lead. Barney Roy tries to go with him. They've got 100 yards to go in the Eclipse. It's Ulysses who leads by a head. Barney Roy trying to get back on the inside as they hit the line. It is too close to call. On the near side, Ulysses. On the far side, Barney Roy.
Well, there we go. The 4-year-old Ulysses, who's by Galileo. Sir Michael Stout, Jim Crowley, fantastic win, touching off the 3-year-old Barney Roy by acceleration. Gutsy finish. And what did you think of the race, James?
Well, I can see why he's big on acceleration, because this is some type of horse, Barney Roy. They bought him from someone as a 2-year-old, the Sheikh's team, and he's certainly turned out to be a very, very good horse for them. Cliffs of Moher seemed to have every chance in the race.
That's what I thought, James. They're
but
making a big
he did keep him in,
kept him
James
tight.
Doyle,
Yeah.
kept him tight and made sure that he didn't get out. There's a lot of tactics obviously going on between these big stables, and it was a fantastic race. And obviously we sort of move on to Goodwood and all the big races, the Sussex Stakes, and there's going to be some fantastic racing overseas, and really well worth having a look at. Yeah. Just talking about, that's the Sheikh's horse, Barney Roy ran second. They did have a winner. They won with Thunder Snow, won the Jean Prat in France, which is a Group 1.
Group 1, with 5 runners.
And this horse had already won the Grand Criterium in France as well. But this horse, Thunder Snow, what I find interesting is this horse went to Dubai for the big season there.
That's right,
came in,
yeah.
And he won the Guineas and he won the Derby, the UAE Guineas and the UAE Derby. So obviously they're taking real quality horses. These horses can win Group 1s in Europe.
Anywhere in the world, James.
Anywhere, and they're taking them to Dubai for the World Cup. You know, in the old days,
never happened.
There's no way. But these horses do well. It's amazing how long their career spans now, because how
much they can earn.
They race the first 3 months of the year. They used to have off in England. They used to be trotting on the roads and getting ready for the season to start. Now they're going to Dubai. They're getting the sunshine on their back. Everyone said, the Americans all said, oh, you can't go to Dubai and win the World Cup and then have any season left. Well,
that's been disproved already.
That's been disproved with this year's winner of the World Cup, and it's been disproved with this horse, because this horse then went from Dubai to America for the Kentucky Derby.
That's right.
Thunder Snow. He had a hash to start. It was a terrible mess, the whole thing. Came back here, and he's won 2 Group 1s in France. So it shows you how they travel. It's amazing. Yeah. I was talking to Mike de Kock about it the other day. He says these guys travel. Put them on the plane, morning of the race.
They get them over and they race.
They race.
There are a lot of myths being blown out of the water of what you can do with horses today. You know, I still go back to David Payne. He had 3 runners in the Gold Bowl.
Yeah.
And his one owner said, no, you go up the day of the race. And the other one said 3 weeks. So he took them all up differently. And they fought it out.
They ran first, second, third. They finished like this.
Yeah. James, just talking about another thing I wanted to ask you about Joe Moreira. What is the story? Is this guy, he must be with Ryan Moore,
the superstar, this guy.
He's
just broken his Hong Kong record of 168 winners, which he set 2015, 2016. And he's now 169 winners over the weekend. He is just unbelievable. And he's a humble, really nice man, and really, as jockeys go, he's probably got to be the world leader.
I read somewhere that Michael de Kock's World Cup horse has gone to Bob Baffert. It's going to be trained by Bob Baffert. The horse that he ran 2 years ago, runner-up, and he ran him back 4th. He was runner-up and 4th in the World Cup. It's for Sheikh Khalifa. Has gone to Bob Baffert at the moment. It's gone into him in America.
Just talking about the World Cup in Dubai, the horse that won the Golden Shaheen was a horse called Mind Your Biscuits. Now that had its first run back in America, and it won the Amsterdam, the sprint. It's probably, they're talking about it being the best sprinter in America, Mind Your Biscuits. So it shows you he's come back as well, having had a trip to Dubai and won a big race there. And he really is some type of horse too.
Yeah, it's going to be, as you say, the time of the year where people say, let's go, the big money there.
Huge money, and the racing's so good, and I think that people like going there. You're starting to see a lot of European people taking a lot of interest in going there. There are people from Swedish stables,
that's right,
German stables,
Japanese,
the French, Andre Fabre, to take something there that can run like anything. Dupree Royer always find horses that can.
Mick Shannon's always got a couple lurking.
There are a number of people going. Well, you know that Ed Dunlop, he travels the world if he can. Loves to get out there and have a look. I think William Haggis has got a couple going.
William always goes out there.
So it's just amazing what the Dubai World Cup looks like. That 3 months in Dubai, and how it's a stepping stone for horses all over the world to race from there. And I think you'll see the big Australian presence.
We must get to speak to Brett Crawford. I believe he went over to go and have a look at his Met winner, who's now in England. Got him over there, and we'd like to speak
Whiskey
to
Baron.
Whiskey Baron, and find out what his plans are with this horse, you know.
Well, Crawford, you know, he's, I don't know, we see him, but we don't see him.
He popped off the cricket. I saw a photo of him. He was over there looking at Whiskey Baron, you know, the Manhattan Rain horse. And then he popped down the cricket. If he'd have gone a day earlier, they got a game.
Bat number 5.
Yeah, he could have batted 5.
Yeah,
Gee, send Domini back here.
Yeah.
Send Domini to look after the horse and let Crawford bat.
Yeah, exactly. Quite a good. Okay, maybe Kieswetter, because he lives here now.
Oh yeah,
we could have had him. He would have smashed him.
He
all
played
over
for
the
a
world.
country. He played for England. He's a great player.
He was the best one-day player in England. Let me tell you,
that's
the best
right.
one-day player in England in his era. Okay. There was a big controversy over the weekend at Kenilworth. Apparently, race 1, the horses went into the wrong pens, brought to you by our friends, picked it up on ABC.
So what happened is the horses went the wrong gates.
Yeah.
So what happened? Null and void?
It should be, but it wasn't null and voided. In fact, I don't think anyone knew, except that the guys who picked it up, you know, Sharpies, they highlighted it, and the chief staff, Nick Shearer, hadn't picked it up, and apparently there's a big inquiry in Johannesburg, but, you know, what will happen?
Well, the race is over, I suppose, but that's interesting. You've got to watch out for that.
Yeah,
I could do with a bit of draw sometimes.
Yeah, just a reminder before we go to Michelle Nerak, is that the Racing Masters, end of the month, after the Gold Cup starts, you get down there for a Monday practice
round. For Monday, you want to have a practice round there, the big cocktail party on Monday evening. Yeah, you guys go gambling.
Yeah.
And then the beauty of it is that you play on the Tuesday and they seed you for the Wednesday, and we have the prize giving on Wednesday. It's great. It's really good. And you get back for racing on Thursday.
Fantastic setup, and Phil Giorgio's in charge. And I'm going to leave you with Laf, the Ryder Cup. We had the Ryder Cup yesterday.
Yeah, very interesting. The Joburg boys were too good, and they came away with the spoils. It was interesting racing, watching the different riders, and I thoroughly enjoyed it.
Fantastic concept, and nice to see it done here, the Ryder Cup. I think New Turf Carriers were the sponsors.
That's
and
right.
It's good to see them as the sponsors of the Ryder Cup. What I was pleased with, they named the one race after Philip the Load Master, they called him. Philip Fourie, the Load Master, you know.
Yeah, he
and let me tell you, you don't know the type of job Philip Fourie does. Yeah. He got those horses under control. He's helped me. I think he's helped every trainer try and get horses to the races and back safely. Fantastic guy, Philip. Well done, and well done to all you guys who made the Ryder Cup work. And we'll be back with Michelle. Well, there we go, and we're going to be having a look at your call, and as I say, we got Michelle Nerak, the CEO, I got that right, of Gold Circle. He'll be telling us everything that's going on and how the season's gone so far.
Hi, and welcome to Your Call. As we alluded to earlier, we have the CEO of Gold Circle, Michelle Nerak, to talk to us about what's been happening. We're 2/3 of the way through the champion season. We've had a very successful Vodacom Durban July, but there's still a lot to be done. And Michelle, thanks very much for coming in.
Morning, Paul.
Let's start off with the Vodacom Durban July. It was a lot of fanfare and it seemed to go down well. Tell us more about it.
Yeah, Paul, it was absolutely outstanding. Everything went fantastically. I'm still in awe how this team of Gold Circle that looks after 4,000 people on a Friday night can stretch themselves to look after 55,000 on Vodacom Durban July Day. It was exceptional. It's one of the best Julys I've been involved with. in terms of the processes, how we managed everything on the day, where everybody was. In terms of security, it was one of the better years in terms of the reports we've got. I think, and on top of this, to have seen the growth that we've achieved is in these times where tote turnovers are down 10% year on year, as you know, to achieve growth on a day of such a high base like the Vodacom Durban July of 5%, and see that growth not just in the outlets as well, but on course. Attendances were up, so we were lucky. The weather played its part. We had beautiful weather on the day. People were still streaming in with half an hour to the main race. And normally, straight after the main race, people start streaming out. This year, they seem to stay a bit longer. Obviously, the favourites would have helped as well. You know, the good things on the day arrived. It was nice for the churn. And no, all in all, a fantastic success. You know, very, very happy with the results. And I couldn't be more proud of the team.
When you look at turnovers, which is always a big thing for everybody out there, you're up 5% tote turnovers?
Up 5% year on year, which, as I say, compared to the year that has gone 10% down since the beginning of the financial year, this was quite exceptional. And already, as I said, from a very high base, the July is a huge base. You know, we achieved turnovers in excess of 60 million. Now, when you look at an ordinary meeting on a Friday night, we do 3 million. So
massive.
The July is massive, and on top of that, to get on that huge base, and you know, I think, and it's also, the growth was there also for the other totalizator operators in Phumelela and Kenilworth. So, and that is probably due to some serious marketing that's happened in both regions. They've staged race meetings at Kenilworth and at Turffontein.
Let me interrupt you there. We had 3 meetings today. Did that play well?
I think it played well for everybody because it actually supported the VDJ well with a meeting at Kenilworth. So people that couldn't come to KZN to spend the day actually participated in the day by sitting down in Kenilworth and sharing the day, and the same for Turffontein. They started this in Turffontein a few years back, and now the Cape has joined. I think it's been good for everybody, and it creates that awareness to the biggest racing event in the country and the biggest betting event in the country.
Yeah, on the continent.
Yeah,
you know, I took a walk around, you know, and had a look, and people go out of their way to get their clients entertained. Some of those sites were magnificent, and 10 Town, Boomtown, it really is a fantastic day. Yeah,
and you would have noticed 10 Town has grown even further. Now we've got 10s going up to the 800-metre mark. The right-hand side, when you watch the track from the grandstand, has grown exponentially year on year. So attendances were up. We got 4,000 more people across the turnstile, mostly to those destinations. And as you say, they've become destinations, venues, corporate people entertaining their customers, you know, it's and every one of them makes the extra effort. People dress up for the day. People look up forward to the day. It's a fight to get into the venues. Our security's got to be very strong to stop people from trying to get in.
Talking about security, that must be something that you really have to consider, because you've got to cater for the people even when they leave the course. You know, people leave the course right up till 1 a.m. or whatever, 11 o'clock at night, and you've got them all over the place.
Correct,
so
yeah.
do you have to work hand in hand with the police?
Yes, you do. And there's a big police contingent, because obviously whatever happens on the inside of the course is our responsibility. What happens outside the gates is the police's responsibility. So we work very closely with the police. That we have our own security manager that looks after the event, who liaises with them, and those meetings start months before the event. And as you rightly pointed out, most of the security issues happen when people leave the racecourse. But this year we've had 30 arrests, which is much higher than previous years. You know, a couple of years ago we only had 2. You know, so
So they're doing their job.
They're doing their job, and security has improved. It's not yet perfect, but it's a massive event, and people come out. As you well know, Greyville is a huge site with multiple accesses. The other thing that went very well as well is the entrance onto the racecourse for those coming in for parking. Nobody crosses the track anymore, so you're not stopped in queues while the horses parade. You drive through the LI Avenue and onto the golf course. No, everything went very well, Paul. It was a great event. You know, everything went smoothly. It was very nice.
Well, it seems like it was the shot in the arm we needed. How are we trading?
We're trading badly in terms of the tote turnovers. You know, we are down 10% year on year. You know, a company that does 1.5 billion in turnover, it's a huge number. But we foresaw the totalizator decline over the years, and as you well know, being a board member as well, we have the strategy to diversify our revenue streams. But the tote still represents 50% of our revenues, and it was quite a bit of a shock when this drop arrived suddenly on us. We didn't expect it to grow. We actually budgeted for a flat totalizator revenues. So in real terms, in inflationary terms, down year on year, but flat in terms of comparisons. And as I say, we're 10% down. So the result of this is a potential loss of about 25 million, which we will post for this year.
That's concerning. That's concerning.
It is.
To anyone out there, that's concerning. We can post these losses. And I know that the board got together with management and a re-engineering process of which you've thrown some very good ideas forward. How is the re-engineering going?
Yeah, I think basically what we've decided is that we're going to streamline the business, make it more mean and lean and more efficient. And along those lines, obviously, we're going to have to reduce our workforce, which we've started the process of negotiation with the individuals concerned. But the idea is to go back straight into profitability the next financial year from the 1st of August. We've this year budgeted for the totes to drop by another 7%, so we've been conservative on that side, and to try and foresee that the process will continue over time. But we've also had the benefit of other revenue streams that have come in during the course of the year, with all the efforts that we are making to make us less dependable upon the tote. Our target for 2018 was 50%. We've already surpassed this. And obviously 2020, the tote must be only 30% of our revenues, in which case when you have those substantial drops, which happen from time to time for various reasons, the economy, the spend that people have got left for betting on the tote is reduced, that we're not hurt. So it comes at a human cost, unfortunately, but we are very confident that the plan in place will be back, not just back into profitability from the 1st of August onwards, but be able to improve returns to stakeholders as well.
How are you doing your budgets when you're trading like this and you have to budget, as you say, for the new season? Are your budgets looking leaner? Are they looking like we're going to be able to do things properly?
Absolutely. I mean, you have to, obviously, the budgetary process changed from a bottom-up budgetary process where everybody in the management structure would produce their budgets that would be consolidated on top. What we did this year is that we actually budgeted bottom down. So we told everybody this is basically what you've got in consultation with the senior managers. So expenditure cutting, workforce reduction, we've going through all sorts of processes, but also, more importantly, the additional revenue streams that we managed to bring in. You know, which will help the company compensate for the losses of what. So at the moment, our budget for 2017-18, starting on the 1st of August, whilst anticipating a drop of 7% in tote revenues, we anticipate a profit for the year of 4 million, and we anticipate better returns for our stakeholders as well.
So your prediction for the tote, what have you got your predictions for the tote over the next year? Just seen as 50%.
7% down.
That's the figure you've looked at. That's the figure.
That's what we're going for the tote. 7% down. In other words, if we did 1.4 billion this year, we will do 1.4 less 7%. You know, as simple as that. You know, the 98 million.
Because there are doomsayers out there saying Gold Circle are in serious trouble. How do you answer them?
Well, Gold Circle has got a very solid balance sheet. Let's not beat around the bush. We're sitting with 253 million of investments. So we got a very solid balance sheet. We can afford to take a loss of 25 million. Our depreciation is 38. So we're still cash flow positive even though we're posting a loss. What is more concern from us, from the way Gold Circle's philosophy is that we have been unable to increase returns to stakeholders. That's more important to us than the profit or loss.
Elaborate on that. Is that stakes for races?
Stakes and everybody else that depends upon the company. It's not just stakes. You know, stakes to owners is the most important and the biggest of it all. But we also support the whole industry, all around it. You know, when you look at the Jockeys Academy, equine research, you look at breeders, you look at everybody that Gold Circle contributes to. So that's been important to us, that we haven't been able to increase those returns. And that's what our focus is. That's what we exist for, is to ensure the sustainability of the horse racing industry in KZN.
Well, let's end. I'm pleased there's a positive turn to everything. Stakes. You just said a moment ago, it's a priority. Are there great plans afoot to push stake money up?
Correct. The plans are there. Obviously, a few balls hanging in the air and a few negotiations that still got to take place. Obviously, negotiations with owners, negotiations with trainers, which need to happen. That will happen soon. Our target date for resolution is 1 October. We want to start on the new dividend policy of Gold Circle, if I call it that way, in terms of stakeholders, to be effective on the 1st of October. That's our target.
That's not too far off. And
no.
On a note of finality, a bugbear over the years has been our courses, and I know you and your team have put a lot of time in with the guys, your track operators, to find people to come in to get our tracks perfect. How's that looking?
Paul, I know there's always been lots of criticisms of the track over the years. I've never seen Greyville Racecourse as good as it's been this year compared to the last 10 years. In fact, I walked it on Friday with a couple of people, and it's recovered extremely well from the July race meeting. It was a bit firm on July day, and the trainers did complain that some of their horses jar up. But on the other hand, the jocks were happier because they don't like the softness when we water the track in winter time. The water doesn't evaporate, and it creates patches, different types of areas which react differently to even though you evenly distribute the water, you do create some patches because of the contours of the track. But we are always looking to improve. So we'll never sit down and say that's it, we're happy. But I'm particularly happy about the state of the track this year.
Yeah, we had Tony Rivlin a few weeks back, and he's been meeting with the people who are doing different grasses all over the world to race through winter and that, and I think that's a positive step.
Yeah, the problem with Greyville track is that we got a mixture of Synodon and Kikuyu, and Kikuyu doesn't do well at the coast, so in winter the Synodon is very prevalent, but the Synodon does go brown in winter. So the visual effect of the track, when you watch it on TV, you'll see those brown strips and you say, oh my God, the track is terrible. But it's actually a very good grass cover. And the Synodon is there. So the grass cover is actually better than previous years. The collar, in the old days, they used to paint the track.
Yes,
and spray it with paint. Yes, so Tony has got a couple of experts helping us, trying to find a type of Synodon that will not become brown in winter. So the visual effect won't be that bad. We've also tried a lot of things in terms of overseeding and all the other grasses that would bring up that green tinge to the track. But the good thing is that the analysis of our soil has proved that all the nutrients that are necessary for a growing medium are there. So the soil is balanced.
So the theory of lift up everything doesn't seem to be any fruit. Well, shall I say, they haven't got that right, have they?
Well, yes and no. I mean, at this stage, the growing medium has got everything. It's tested regularly at various spots. So it shows you everything. What could be beneficial from a complete lifting is that you can actually replant straight away the grass that you want at that time. But at the coast, in Durban in winter, there's not too many choices of grasses that do well. The experts still tell you that Kikuyu would do very well, but you would need to water extensively. Now, if you do, the track becomes softer, and the jockeys don't like it. If we stop watering, it becomes harder, and the trainers don't like it, which happened on July day. A few horses jarred up from the reports that I've had from the track being too firm. So it's a balancing act, but we're moving in the right direction. And to me, it's the positive is that things are getting better, and we're going to keep putting the effort to make it even better in future years.
Michelle, thanks very much. At least it gives people an idea what's going on. It does sound positive.
Yeah, look, I'm very bullish about the future. I think the plan that we've done, and which you agreed to with the board when we met a couple of weeks ago, is good. It's, as I said, comes at a cost, a human cost. We're going to reduce our workforce. We'll be a bit stretched when it comes to the winter season, but then we will employ for that short period of time. And we've taken a very conservative approach on the value of the rand because of the international investments. our share of the work of Formula International is absolutely phenomenal for us. This year it's going to be around 70 million. That also improves if the rand devalues. It decreases if the rand appreciates, which it has in the last 12 months, although the last 2 weeks haven't been great. But for us, that's good extra revenue. So we've been conservative on this. And we are confident that we will be back in profitability, but more importantly, better returns to our stakeholders.
Michelle, thanks very much. There we are, the CEO, Michelle Narek of Gold Circle.
Your world of winners is now online at www.teletrack.com. Simply subscribe to log into your account from any mobile device in South Africa and access a wide variety of content from our membership package options. Listen in via a live audio stream, catch live racing locally and internationally, or view a wide variety of Teletrack magazine shows to stay informed and updated on the go at any time. It's never been easier. Go to teletrack.com now.